I had the opportunity to attend the Montgomery Film Festival, so I'm going to talk about 5 new films that I saw there. Dead Lover, The World Drops Dead, When the Moon Returns, Fanboy, and Cloud. These films cover a few different genres, which are horror, dark comedy, and thriller. They also incorporate overarching topics that involve death, searching for connection, and indulging obsession. Starting out with Dead Lover. This film is about a gravedigger who desperately wants to experience romance. This role is played by Grace Glowicki, who is also the director. I think that the gravedigger is a pretty charming character. She has a lot of love to give, and this leads to a fun romance and deep feelings of love and obsession being expressed, alongside dialogic and physical comedy. I think Dead Lover stands out the most when it comes to its craft. This film takes Frankenstein as inspiration, as well as some visual language from German Expressionism with uses of sharp lines, shapes, and shadows. This aspect, along with its pretty colors, reminded me of the 1989 movie Dr. Caligari. In Dead Lover, I really liked how they used props and costumes that added to the visual aesthetic language, but how the filmmakers were able to skillfully shoot these things was the standout aspect. It's in a 4:3 aspect ratio, I believe, and the characters were always in front of a black background. I thought this was a fun and unique way to stage the movie. Both the visual and sound editing are great. This facet really surprised me and enhanced the storytelling, humor, and level of engagement I felt with Dead Lover. I also want to highlight the performances beyond Glowicki as the gravedigger. The 4 cast members play multiple characters, which I did not realize until the credits rolled. So I think this speaks to their skillful performances in their variety of roles. In my opinion, the first standout in this area was Leah Dawes as the love interest's sister. She gave my favorite main performance. I thought she was fantastic. The second standout element with the acting was the side characters, because there were some really funny bits with them. Like, for example, they played townspeople and some nuns, and those actors and their line deliveries really made the movie feel like it was fun to make, so I always looked forward to when those characters would show up. Now, part of the reason why I was looking forward to those moments is because the movie felt a little too long. So those side characters kind of gave me something to reach for as the runtime kept going. So I would have liked if the movie was a little shorter. But overall, I still enjoyed the best aspect of this movie and the reason to check it out, which is definitely the technical craft, including the dynamic shots, lighting, and editing. Moving on to Brandon Colvin's feature, The World Drops Dead, which was paired with his short film, When the Moon Returns. They're companion films, which complement each other. During the Q&A after the screening, Colvin put it well, saying they each portray a spiritual experience during an intense part of the characters' lives. They also both star Yumna Jain, who gave skillful performances. The World Drops Dead is a meditation on grief and its repercussions. This somber film follows Claire as she grapples with hardship, searches for connection amongst pain, and experiences otherworldly forces. So there are a couple of things that I really appreciated about this film. The first is the score, which Colvin composed with collaborator Aaron Witt. This reminded me of the score from Mandy, composed by Johan Johansson. The World Drops Dead is purposely sparse in its use of sound, so when the score comes in, it's intentionally placed and very effective. Beyond the score, there's also a particular needle drop that is deployed extremely well. I also appreciated the cinematography, which was done by Cody Duncan. What I liked about it was the use of far-away wide shots. and stationary, lengthy takes, which held on the subjects for long periods of time. These made the viewers sit with the emotions of the characters. I think these were well edited too. Colvin knows when to cut away from these sustained shots. He crafted some creepy, memorable images that really elevate the film. Additionally, the lighting is one of the standout elements. I appreciated how after the screening, Colvin expanded on this aspect, explaining that he was drawn to use green lighting because of its, quote, appealing unnaturalness. He expanded on some of the content present in the film, saying that he was inspired by characteristics of the Quaker faith, specifically their religious meetings and how those emphasize silence and inwardness, processing things in solitude, and how this can lead to people being unable to connect with or support each other during hard times, and this can result in compounded pain. This is the impetus for some of the horror in The World Drops Dead. Following the feature film was the animated, spellbinding short, When the Moon Returns. This short is really good, and I thought it was even better than The World Drops Dead. When the Moon Returns features characters who are druids as they carry out religious rituals in the woods. This one was very creepy, with, for example, an image of a tree trunk with scary, bloody roots or veins running through it, or evoking cycles of life and death with both full and sparse trees. Like in The World Drops Dead, there are also well thought out shots here. Colvin has a great cinematic eye. This one is also about death and its repercussions, but Colvin talked about how it takes a different angle than the feature, saying that while The World Drops Dead's characters look at death as a disruption, When the Moon Returns characters accept death, seeing it as peaceful, a fluid, natural part of life. The sound design here is scary, and the score is also great. It reminded me of Colin Stetson's work, who is mostly known for composing the Hereditary score. There is a lot of passion in both of these films. Clearly, Colvin cares deeply about his subject matter. He has put a lot of himself and the ideas he's interested in into his films. He said that his next feature has even more horror elements, so look out for that one. Next up is the delightful and consistently funny Fanboy, directed by Bean McKee. This was my favorite feature of the weekend. It's about an Ohio State football fan, his obsession with the sport and the team, as well as his search for connection and community. In this search, however, frustrations embedded in his psyche come to light. As his mood worsens when Ohio State loses games, and he becomes irritated with people not paying attention to the actual football, not taking it seriously, and just using the games as an excuse to party. This I honestly found pretty relatable because I've felt that before when I've put on movies for people and they don't pay attention to them. Thus, Fanboy is effective with how it draws you in with that relatability, but also explores the character's faults in this kind of gatekeeping and litigious behavior, the possible pitfalls of obsession. So I thought there was a good narrative balance there. He feels misunderstood and can only connect with people through this one thing, but is having such a hard time finding community because he's so strict with how that community can enjoy the sport. During the post-screening Q&A of Fanboy, more information about the film was provided, as the filmmakers spoke on some of the ethos of the movie, the kind of cult that college football gains around it, and how in college towns, the sport can become a, quote, entity that is looming and impossible to avoid. and how people can get way too invested in it, giving so much of their energy to the institution, but it doesn't give any energy back to you, and it's a cycle that's reoccurring every year. They also explained the concept behind the musical score, which used apropos marching band instruments combined with jazz instruments, creating unwieldy sounding compositions to enhance uneasy feelings in the movie. I would 100% recommend you check out this movie when it's available to you. It's a funny and layered character study. The last film I'm going to discuss from the festival is Kiyoshi Kurosawa's slow burn drama thriller, Cloud. Kurosawa is a very prolific horror director, most known for his movies Cure and Pulse. I unfortunately haven't seen Cure yet. That's a big blind spot of mine. But I really liked Pulse, which explored emotional isolation. Cloud deals with this subject as well. It's about a man who is a reseller of novelty and luxury items and the morally questionable nature of this. The film also invokes themes of going against what society says you're supposed to do and adopting uncompromising individualism. My favorite thing about it was certain shots in which the camera becomes a kind of voyeur by utilizing wide angles. This is similar to Pulse because in that movie the camera also takes on wide angle shots, reflecting the emotional distance that characters felt. I'm kind of torn on this movie. On paper, it seems like something I should like, but in practice, it didn't get all the way there for me. The problem I had with it is that it's too pristine and clean feeling. It is cold. And I get that these traits are purposeful. These things are the point. They reinforce the movie's story and themes. But for me personally, and what I like, I just need some more characteristics of the film where I can feel the passion radiating from those aspects. I felt more of that passion in Pulse, where instead of a clean aesthetic, he used a new age internet digital look. So overall, some things about it led to Cloud not completely working for me, but I could definitely understand how it could check all the boxes for other people. Something working against Cloud was that it reminded me of another recent movie that I liked better, Red Rooms. So Red Rooms and Cloud had a couple of similarities that I felt, but at the end of the day, Red Rooms was better in my opinion because it was more gritty and daring than Cloud was. So I guess check out Red Rooms if you haven't. So those are the 5 new films that I got the opportunity to see at the Montgomery Film Festival. Keep an eye out for when they become available for you to watch, and check them out if any of them sounded interesting to you. Thank you for watching this video, and make sure you subscribe to see more from me in the future. Bye!